Would you rather always live in one place, never able to move, but staying there for your entire life? Or would you rather have to move every once in a while and never be able to stay in one spot for your whole life? Let me know in the comments below. My name is Maximilian Zatera. I was born in Edmonton. I grew up in Calgary, some time in Poland, and also Edmonton. My parents are from Poland. They immigrated here to Canada, and we are very blessed to have called this home for a long, long time. I want to acknowledge that this land I'm very blessed to call home is Treaty 6 territory, home of many Indigenous peoples and ancestors who have lived here for a long, long time and have taken care of this world and allowed me to enjoy the blessings of it. Recently, I heard Father Glenn give a beautiful, beautiful homily on ownership, right? As the early Christian community struggled with ownership and how do they bridge the gap between poor and rich. Father Glenn gave this beautiful, beautiful connection to the wisdom from our Indigenous brothers and sisters that, have called this land home for centuries. He mentioned that when he is interacting with an Indigenous person, when they are being introduced, typically they'll say who they are, their name, and where they're from, rather than saying what they do first. That's so key. If you dwell on it, if you think about it, if you think about your identity is not solely tied to the things you do, but rather who you are, who you came from, and the land you come from, and the people that have come before you, you were kind of reach healing through humility. How about this through the lens of science for a little bit? So, if you know anything about a seed, you know that it's kind of the one of the first parts of of the life cycle of a plant. What's really, really interesting is within that seed, the identity of the plant is already somewhat determined. It's very predetermined already. The genetics, the DNA, within the embryo of the baby plant, really what it is it's already there. The land that it's planted in, the land that it sprouts in and grows in, shapes that plant completely, entirely almost. So again, we've got to realize that before we take our first steps, a big part of who we are is already established. If you look above, you'll see that we have the embryo, right? The baby plant containing the parent's genetic material. We have the endosperm, which are the nutrients provided for the plant, and we also have the seed coat, which protects the plant from external sources. Before it sprouts, that plant is already protected and nourished and formed. We can use this wisdom of nature, of the natural world that reveals the brilliance of God to us, and we can actually find healing through this sense of humility. So if we consider ourselves, we also are like these seeds. So Creator God has already established our identity by giving us our ancestors and our parents, and placing us into a beautiful world full of blessings for us. Now our ancestors have determined our identity through our DNA that they passed down to us, through the hard work that they did to survive and to come to the place where they could put us into this world. We also have to acknowledge how much they've taken care of the world and created a world for us that we could enjoy. All these things are part of our identity of who we are. Now, why is this so important to understand, to remember? Let's consider the alternative. Let's say our identity comes solely from what we do and what we possess, what we own, and what successes we have and what failures. Let's say that defined us. We've all been there where we're so happy because something goes our way, and then we kind of make our whole identity about that, whether it's getting a good mark on some sort of assignment or getting praise or getting a gift or reaching some sort of milestone. And yes, of course, absolutely, the Lord wants us to do things with our talents, with our gifts. But if we start to be selfish with them and start to think that they're our own and that we own these things, we will soon be disappointed. I am recording this at a very important time in Canadian history, when we're beginning to really acknowledge the truth and try to move towards reconciliation on the topic of humility and pride, on the other hand, of ownership. The unfortunate tragedy of residential schools within Canada and affecting our First Nations people is a problem of pride. It is a problem of a lack of humility. It is a problem of thinking my culture is greater than your culture. My culture is better than yours, and I need to take you out of yours and eliminate yours. That is disgusting. Few ways we can come to healing in this as Canada, as Canadians, is to acknowledge that we don't really own the land we walk on. We don't really own our culture. It was a gift. It was given to us. It was carried on, and so other people's cultures, other people's lives are important, are valuable. Ours are not any more valuable than theirs.